Mr. Oscar Carboni of Trade with Oscar or livewithoscar.com. Thank you for being here, Oscar, and have a great week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will bring us to our anchor presenter group. And today has been a professional options trader for the past 13 years. He has verified live performance with Reddit and has been mentoring his students for close to a decade. He's been able to maintain an incredible 90% win rate trading his own live account. He also has his own options live trading room and alert service that he's garnered members consistent profits. And the good news is he's going to tell us exactly how he does it. So here to present how I win 90% of my options picks is Mr. David Wise of Right Line Trading. Welcome back to Traders Corner, David.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the intro, and thanks for the intro. I want to just make sure everybody can see my screen, and
yes, sir.
And you hear what I'm saying. Okay, very good. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the intro. We'll get started. I know it's been a long day for everybody, so I will try to make this very worthwhile for you, and I'm very cognizant of your time. So we'll get started. Thanks a lot. Again, my name is Dave, and I'm with the I have a Compass Options trading room and an alert service that I provide through Right Line. And I use some specific software to find these trades and to trade only the highest probability trade setups. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the services we have, and I'm going to let you know how we come up with these trades. Alert services are nice. A lot of people like alert services. I think it's very important for the folks who are members of alert services to have a good idea of where the trades are coming from. So I'm going to go into some pretty good detail to show you how I find the trades that I find and send them out. So if you're a member of the alert service or if you're in my room, you understand where these high probability trades setups are coming from. Okay, so we'll move along here. Again, my name is Dave, and I'll do my the usual disclaimer that we have to do. All signals and trading opportunities we provide here are for educational and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, and you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose, and neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors. All right, so we'll move ahead here. I just want to talk briefly about the market. Knowing what drives the market it's really important, and this is just kind of a graphic representation. These little marbles here, which probably should be much smaller, this is retail traders like myself, and I suspect most everybody else here in the room are retail traders. So this is us in here trying to fight the market every day, and we don't have any ability to move the market. Retail traders don't move the market. We just trade against each other, and when only retail traders are in the market, you get a lot of chop, you get a lot of chaos. It's just not a good time to trade. Now the big marble back here, which should be even huger, these are the institutions, and the institutions are things like HSBC and Goldman Sachs and Vanguard Fund and T. Rowe Price and hedge funds and 401ks, all of the big boys. These folks, they have trillions of dollars that they can put into the market and take out of the market. So when they're trading, they what drive the trend. We have no ability to do that. So our job to be successful traders, consistently successful traders, is to be able to join the trend when the institutions are driving it, whether it's bullish or bearish, and be out of the trend if the institutions aren't in there. If just the retail traders are trading, we don't want to be part of that trade. So my job is to, using the software that I have, is to know when an institution is in trading and when they're not. That way I can join the trades when the institutions are involved in it, and I can avoid them when they're not. So that's what we'll be looking for, and I'll show you exactly how we do that. It's not that simple. You have to have the right tools to be able to do that, and traders who have the better tools are the traders who are going to be consistently profitable. All right, so this is, I just want to talk a little bit about the two pieces of software that I use. One is called the Compass system, and one is called the Dominator system. And this graph, this slide right here is really just to show you the difference, how the trades, what they produced when I was using the Compass system and when I added the Dominator system to it. Now, the Compass system is the system, and I'll go into this, that identifies when the institutions are in the trades. The Dominator system shows me what the market internals are. In other words, are there more stocks going up on up volume and upticks than going down on down volume and down ticks? I need to know that. And the Dominator system is fairly new. It was just introduced last October. It's less than a year. So trading the Compass system between October 1st and 12/28 of last year, and the reason I use this is because I wanted to compare trades that I took that had institutional involvement, but didn't necessarily have market internals in their favor. They were neutral. There wasn't any huge amount of buying or selling, more buying or more selling. It was basically fairly flat. So in Compass trades that I took from 10/1 to 12/28, I had 129 wins and 12 losses. That was basically a 90% win rate, pretty good. Now, between that same date, 10/1 and 12/28, I took 113 wins and 2 losses when the Compass system and the Dominator system lined up. This told me that the institutions were trading and the market internals were in my favor. So when both of these line up, you can see the win rate was astronomically high, 97.4. Very, very difficult to maintain any kind of a win rate like that, but we did this as a test, and that's what it was. So this is pretty impressive with these two pieces of software. So just so I want you to see what the results were and how those results were produced. All right, so what I want to do is I want to kind of go over my results first, and then I want to go into the trades that we took and the charts to show you exactly how we found those trades, just so you know. So this was our best winning streak up to the date so far, was 29 trades in a row. From finished April with 19 wins, followed by 10 in May. And by investing $2,000 in each trade, and these are option trades, by investing $2,000 in each trade, we made a little over $11,000 profit in those from April 20th to May 5th. A pretty nice run. Listen, we have losses, just like everybody has losses, but again, with a 85 to 90, 92% win rate, you can get some fairly long streaks. But that was from April 20th to May 5th. Now this is the results we've had in the trading room in the alert service from March through June, which I've just recently updated. So, and again, this is investing $2,000 in each trade. Now that doesn't mean you have to invest $2,000 in each trade. I'm just using this as kind of a baseline. I take all these trades and I take them with real money. Every single one of these trades is I take when I call them out or when I send out an alert, I've taken the trade. But this is just a baseline, so I've got something to go by. So basically, these are our results. In March, we had 37 wins, 6 losses, 86% win rate, $8,900 profit. April, 35 wins, 5 losses, 87.5, 47.40, less profit. Some of the trades didn't make as much money. We had to take them off before we hit those profits. A lot of it depends on the market. If the market's trending in your favor, you can make bigger wins. May, 41 wins and 6 losses, another 87.5% win rate for 7,600. In June, 37 wins, 6 losses, 86% win rate, $8,000. So you can see we maintained here. We roughly got around 87% win rate for those 4 months, and that's a lot of trades. And about close to $30,000 profit. But that's what we produced in the trading room and in this alert service. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what we have been able to produce with these systems. And I just shot this quickly. This was one I just kept up here. This is actually a spreadsheet I've had of the trades we took. Those are the 19 April trades that we took. And you can see that they're up. The stocks are all over the lot here. But most of the stocks we take are fairly most everybody knows. May's AT&T. Here's Tesla for 10%, AT&T for 16. BABA, we had 30% win rate in BABA, 24% in Twilio. So you can see that these are the actual 19 trades in a row we had in April. I just wanted to put that up there to show you what we produced. And again, 34%, 25%, 31%. We're typically not taking 200, 300, 500, 1,000% wins. I know you hear about that a lot. It's not realistic to do that kind of, taking 20 to 40, 50, 60%, and occasionally 100% is typically what you're going to see out of my service. And I think that the fact that we're so disciplined and we're able to maintain this kind of win rate is extremely important to most traders. And again, here's some recent May trades. These are the actual May trades that we took, and we did have some losers in there. You can see sometimes a news event will come out or whatever, and you get you take a hit on it. But this just kind of gives you a rundown of the trades, and I just like people to see exactly the tickers we're trading and what kind of profits we take on them. And that's May. This is June, right here. Same thing. Couple of losers, but mostly wins, obviously, and some nice little percentage gains right here. Now, this is the July trade so far that we've closed out. We closed out 2 more today. So we've actually closed 16 trades in July, and we've got 16 wins and 0 losses. We do have positions on that are underwater right now, but that's the way it is in trading. But so far, we've closed 16 trades and all profitable. And we use a few different strategies, which I'll cover here in just a little bit. So that's what we've done in July so far. And these are specific alerted trades. I just kind of wanted to run past anybody who's interested in the alerts. This is what you'd see. These are some of the stocks that we've had alerts in. BNTX, we entered for 81 cents. We get out at $1.21 the next morning. That's a nice 50% profit. And again, if you're investing 2,000, it's going to create about a $1,000 profit. Run was another one in at 33 out of 43. Doesn't sound like much, 10 cents, but it's 30% profit. So these are some of the trades that we've alerted out recently. 266 for Alta and out for 366, and again that produced $700 profit. So you can see these different trades. There's a list of them here. We got some other additional ones here. These again more recently alerted. In for 64, out for 84. So you can see a fairly good consistency as far as profitability is here. 30%. We have a smaller one here, 13%. This was in the same day. We were in gold in at 380, out at 430. Pretty small gain, but still 13% profit. So this was TSM here, and again in at 580, out for 870. That was just overnight. We took this just a quick overnight trade, 50% profit. All right, so let me just talk first about the alert service that we have. It's called the Compass Options Alert Service, and it's basically designed for day trades and short-term swing trades. I'm not doing any investment type advice. This is all just for people who want to day trade or short-term swing trade. And when I say short-term swing trade, usually it's a day or 2, 3 days, sometimes up to 2 weeks, but generally not longer than that. Just depends on the price action in the particular stock, of course. And it's designed for traders who can't watch the market all day, which is a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people they would like to trade some, but they obviously they work. They can't be by their computer all day. So I am by my computer all day. So we send the alerts out to those folks. And you're going to get real-time alerts on the highest probability trade setups. And I'm going to show you how I find the highest probability trade setups. It takes a lot of patience, and you have to be very disciplined to do this. But those are the ones that are going to pay off for you. And the highest probability trades we find by identifying institutional involvement. We do not take any trades if the institutions are not trading in the same direction. If the institutions are in buying, and we can tell that they are, then we're going to go long the stock. If they're selling, we're going to go short the stock. If there's no institutional involvement in a particular ticker, we're not going to be there. We're not going to trade it. So these real-time alerts will be in the highest probability trade setups. And again, we identify institutional involvement. We look at the market internals that I'll show you. We want to know most of the stocks in the market going up versus going down right now. We do that by looking at by ticks and number of stocks moving up and moving down. And we do a lot of detailed technical analysis on the different charts so that we can make a determination of the high probability trade setups we find which one is the best, because we're looking for just the very, very best. All right, so that's the alert service. Now, you would be alerted by SMS message, comes directly to your cell phone. And our motto in the room, of course, is trade the best and skip the rest. And this is what we do. We're not taking lots and lots. You're not seeing us taking 10, 15, 20 trades a day. We're just looking for the best. So it's a fairly low stress type environment where we take these trades. And so every alerted trade, you're going to get the stock symbol. You're going to get the option strike price. You get the option expiration date and the price to pay for the option, with perhaps a range, maybe $1 to $1.05, something like that. But you will get all of this information in a real-time alert right to your cell phone. And when we sell it, we'll send you an alert that tells you what to buy and when to buy it at what price. And then you may get within that same alert, you may get a target price, or you may not. You may get a target price on a separate email, a separate text. Usually I wait till I see what the stock is doing or where I think it may be able to go before I set a target price. I'd like to try to get as much as we can out of it. And so I may not do that for a day or 2 days. And anytime you get an exit price, by the way, it should be, you'll notice GTC on it. It's going to tell you good till canceled. You always want your price targets or your working orders to be active when the market opens in the morning. That's what good to cancel means. All right, so that's how you're going to get alerted by SMS message. Now, and again, people ask me how to 90% win rate is really high. It's pretty high for this industry. It's not something that very many people achieve. And I think the reason is we're so patient and we drill down so much into the criteria that we want to find the best trades that we're only finding the very best ones, so they're much more likely to work. So how do we achieve these stunning results? Well, we're able to identify what institutions are driving a trade and when the market internals are heavily bullish or bearish. Those two things together tell us that we're in the best stock and the market is strong right now. That's very, very important. So we only take trades when both of these are in our favor. Now, that's not entirely true. If the market internals are neutral, in other words, if there's about as many stocks moving up on up volume and up ticks as there are moving down on down volume and down ticks, then the market is neutral. But we would then focus on the compass system and only be taking trades that institutions are driving. But generally, if we can find trades when they're both in our favor, allowing us to align our trades with the institutions and the market, those are going to give you your very, very best trades. And our results show that. That's how we do this. So, and I want to just introduce you to the software just briefly, because I want you to, there's the market closing. I want you to know what tools we're using to find these trades. And anybody can buy these trades, but you don't, these tools, but you don't have to have them. If you're in the alert service or in my room, you don't have to have them, but this is what I use to find these trades, along with technical analysis. I use the compass system to look for stocks that are being moved by institutional buying and selling. It also identifies stocks that do not have institutional buying and selling. This is really critical because I don't want to be in any trades if it's just other retail traders in there buying and selling them. I don't want to be in there just fighting against the retail traders. I want to be trading with the market trend that's being created by the institutions, so I can run over all the other retail traders, because the retail traders don't have the information that we have. The second system I look at is the dominator system, and I'll show you some charts that show this. Dominator system displays market internals, and now it's going to produce buy or sell signals when the difference in the number of stocks moving up on up volume and up ticks is way higher than the stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks, and vice versa for short. So we will get a buy signal or a sell signal. If they're roughly the same, it'll just be neutral. So these are the two pieces of software that I'm gonna show you on charts of how I'm finding these trades. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want you to understand where these trades, if you're in the alert service, I want you to understand where these trades are coming from. You know, it's nice to follow trades, but I think it's important to also learn from that and to find how to find these trades yourself, so you can see what they are. All right, so how does Compass System identifies when institutions are in the trade? Okay, it's how it's done. It's called a triple screen assessment. Now, that is a fancy way to say we're looking at multiple time frames, and we're looking at it across 4 different indicators. So we're looking at momentum specifically is a really important one. We're looking at the momentum that's occurring across 3 different time frames. If I'm on the 5-minute chart, I'm looking at this is looking at the 5, the 15, and the 45. It's looking at those 3 different time frames, and it's looking at what momentum is on all 3 of those time frames. Then we're looking for trend. We're looking to see what the trend is on those 3 different time frames. Then we're looking at money flow across those 3 different time frames, and the Compass System is also looking at quants across the 3 different time frames. Quant is related instruments that normally trade with that stock. If, for example, I'm looking at the Microsoft, then there's a certain number of stocks that trade in conjunction with Microsoft 70% of the time or more. They're going to be, if Microsoft's going up, they're going to be going up 70% of the time. If they're not aligned, then the quants are not going to tell us that they're all working in that direction. So when all of these things line up, pretty much the only way that all of these things can line up across 3 different time frames is if the institutions are in there driving this trend. Retail traders cannot produce across 3 different time frames across 4 different indicators. It's basically impossible. So you can figure that the likelihood of getting in the trend at the right time is extremely high. All right, and the dominator system, which looks at market internals, is looking at across 5 different indexes. It's looking across at the Dow, the New York Stock Exchange, triple Qs, NASDAQ, the SPY, S&P 500, and the Russell 2000. And it's looking at the number of stocks moving up on up volume and upticks versus the number of stocks moving down on down volume and downticks. Not how much they're moving, but how many of them are moving. And so you've got ticks and you've got volumes that you're looking at. So when there's a large disparity, in other words, let's say you have 500 or 600 stocks moving up on up volume and upticks, and 100 moving down on down volume and downticks, then you have a disparity that's large enough to create a buy signal. If it's the other way around, if you've got a 700 going down and 100 going up, then you're going to get a sell signal. And this is what the dominator system looks for. And we use this in conjunction with the Compass system to identify even higher probability trade setups. So if the institutions are buying a Microsoft, for example, and the market internals are also telling you that the market is going up, a lot more stocks going up than going down, not only are you buying a stock that's in an uptrend, very strong, and the institutions are buying it, but you're also trading in the same direction as the market to the upside. That's a huge advantage to anybody trying to trade. I mean, if you're following the market trend and the stocks trend and they correspond, you've got a huge advantage over the rest of the traders in the market at that point in time. And most other traders aren't going to know that. They may be in the trade, but they're not going to know why. So I'm going to show you some charts of some recent trades that we've done these high probability trade setups, so you can see where I'm coming from here. All right, this is one we took just last week. This is Disney. Now this is the Compass system. This Compass system runs on Thinkorswim, and this is the indicators, 4 different ones that we were talking about. This is the quant. This is the multi-time frame momentum. This is the current time frame momentum, and this is our bias or trend right here. Now you can see it's all red, so this is pretty easy to see that this is bearish. For the Compass system, red and yellow is bearish, blue and green is bullish. So this indicators will show you that the market is bearish, and we can see the market's bearish, and this is Disney right here. So when do we buy Disney? Well, in our system, in our methodology, what we're looking for is we're looking to buy a stock as it breaks down, and the Compass system produces these pop out of the box signals right here. These pop out of the box signals are telling you that the stock is breaking either up or down out of compression. You can see it's breaking out of compression here. The little pink line right here is called the VWAP, the volume weighted average price. This is very important because you don't want to be trading stocks short if the price is above the VWAP. So we saw Disney, and Disney was bearish. Obviously, you can see how bearish it is here. This is like 10 o'clock in the morning. and it breaks down. So we took the trade right here. This was a pop out of the box signal. Stock's breaking down. Everything is telling us the institutions are selling this thing. The denominator was also red, by the way. So we bought it here, and we wrote it down for a while. Now, you see how it compresses here? But you notice as it compresses, there's not an awful lot of selling going on right here. But the institutions are still selling stock. That doesn't mean that the stock's going to drop precipitously. It just tells you that the next move is likely to be the downside. So we ride it along here, not making too much money here, and then we get a nice pull down here. And it pulls down, and we get another pop out of the box signal coming out of compression, and then we get two little green candles. But the two little green candles are not really telling us anything, because we know that the system is bearish right now. The institutions are selling this stock, so we stay in it. And this is what these little pop-ups usually are retail traders trying to pick the bottom and trying to think that they're getting in at the bottom, and we're going to take it long and see what happens to them. They get whipsawed. So we stayed in the trade, and you can see how the compass system turned to blue right here on this candle. We get out. We get out right here. We actually get out just before that, because that tells you though that the institutions, instead of selling on the current time frame, this is the 5-minute time frame, have gone to buying. So that was the one trade we took. And this is another trade we took the same day. This was Verizon. And again, I just want you to see what the indicators look like. They're all red here, so we knew that Verizon was bearish. It's gapped down in the morning, everything is bearish, but we didn't buy it here. We waited, because you notice how it's riding along this VWAP, volume weighted average price. And we get a pop out of the box signal right here. Here's where we went into the trade. As it breaks down below this VWAP with a pop out of the box signal, we went short Verizon right here. And we just stayed in it. Notice how the system stayed red the whole way down. These are pretty small candles, but we rode this down and we made a nice profit. Actually, we stayed in longer than this. I couldn't get the whole chart in here. We stayed in longer than this, but Verizon's not a big mover. And I mean, on Verizon, your options are very tightly spread, and you can easily make 30-40 cents, which is a huge move on a stock like Verizon. And again, I just kind of want you to see how we know the institutions are selling this stock. Okay. And this was when we did the same day too. Now this was UPST, but notice we took this bullishly. Pretty easy to see that it's a bullish setup here. This is the VWAP. We're all above the VWAP. This little thin green line is the 15 EMA of an EMA. It's a smooth EMA. But see how the compass system went yellow to blue right here. So this is telling us that the momentum on the current time frame is going from slightly bearish to slightly bullish, but the rest of them are green. So this is where we get in right here, right off of this this move off of this 15 EMA, and we rode it and rode it and rode it all the way up to here, which is where we get out right here at the top. And notice it stayed green the whole time. It tells us that even though it's pulling back, the institutions are still buying this stock. No reason for us to get out. So that was UPST. That was another nice gain. That was 3 trades we had that day, which is actually a lot for us. And we did have nice wins in those. This was UPST again. This was a one that was we did this the UPST twice in a couple of days. This chart's a little blurry, but again, you can see here that we had some yellow, and I just wanted to point out the yellow to blue right here. This is telling us that the institutions were buying, then they backed off, then they started buying again, and the stock came right down to this 15 EMA. Buy at support and sell at resistance is one of our main criteria for trading high probability trade setups. So it bounced off of this 15 EMA and moved right straight up. Well, not straight up, but it moved up pretty nicely. And I know the reason I wanted to show this trade is these candles are Fibonacci candles, which I use to look for entries. Fibonacci candles, if you're not familiar with them, and some people call them HA candles. It takes 2 candles to make one candle. It takes 2 regular candles to make 1 candle. And why that's important is because if you're looking for confirmation to enter a trade, a lot of times you got to wait for support to be found, and then you enter the trade off of support. Well, with Fibonacci candles, when you get a candlestick like this that's got a wick and a tail on it, and then you go to a flat bottom, that's a confirmation of a bullish reversal. And it's confirmed because there's 2 regular candles making up this candle. So On a bullish reversal like this, on this candlestick right here, and you notice it went from yellow to blue right on that candlestick. Institutions are now coming in. We're getting confirmation using HYPOTHETICAL that this is a HYPOTHETICAL reversal. This is where we enter the trade, and we rode this thing up. And when you start to get wicks and tails like this is where we get out of the trade. It's starting to lose a little bit of momentum, even though we still had plenty of green on here. We took profits. You could stay in it, but we did take profits in that. So that's the compass system, and that's the indicators that we look for that I went over. And I'll try to show you a couple more. This is a daily chart. You can also use it for daily. You can basically use it whatever time frame you want. But this was Meta. And we have what's called a dynamic compression zone, this little shaded area. As the stock price moved into that, right off the 15, we bought it overnight and just rode it up. We just rode it up for one day. We didn't stay in it very long, but it was a nice move on Meta. You know, this is 295 to 308. That's a pretty nice move. And this is a daily chart. And you can see you see how green it is. You can see that the institutions have been buying this all the way along here, but the stock wasn't really doing too much. But it was telling us that the nut move was coming. And this is where we got it, right out of this compression zone, dynamic compression zone in the pop. All right, and this is a SPY trade we took. And the reason I just show you in these charts is I want you to see what the setups look like using the compass system or the dominator system. Now this is part of the setup that I use for what's called the SPY super system, which you might have seen advertised. When the SPY super system is basically a system to find the highest probabilities SPY setups to trade long and short by using the compass system and the dominator system in combination. And I use both of those. But what we have here is this is the SPY super system. Now, if you look here on the compass system, you can see that the SPY is moving sideways. We're below the VWAP. We're actually red on the day. But here's a pop out of the box symbol right here, and everything is red. So this is where you would take the trade right here, right, and ride it down and down as it stays short until you get to the, notice it turned blue, you're out of the trade down here. Now what I want you to see for the SPY super system is this is the SPY super system on compass. Here's the SPY super system at the same time on the dominator system. This is the dominator system. This is showing us what the market internals are. Now if I go back and look at the entry point right here, it was right here about 1105. So here is I'm sorry, 1205. Get the time wrong here on this thing. Yeah, right here. So this is where we got it. And you see that the couple things important here about the dominator system. The background color tells you what the multi-time frame trend in the market is. So this is telling us that the SPY is in a pink, which means bearish trend. It's moving to the downside. And here's the dominator system, and here are all the indicators. And you see we got sell signals. We can sell this any place, enter this any place. So here's the stock moving sideways, and then we get a pop down here. If I look at the compass system right here, and I look at the dominator system right here, I've got a confirmation of a stock that's SPY is moving down, and it's moving down with bearishness on the dominator system and bearishness on the compass system, and it's coming right off the 15 EMA. So I'm selling this right at resistance. So that's how I found that that's how the SPY super system works. And you don't get these setups all the time. You have to wait for these. But this one is a really nice one. All right, and just some quick trades here. This was Netflix. We had a nice trade in Netflix. You can see we went from blue to yellow. So the compass system is telling us to go ahead and sell. It's coming off the VWAP with a pop out of the box signal, sorry. And we rode this down from here, which was about 10:30 to right here, which was about 11:30. That's about an hour. That was a 20-cent profit, and that was a quick trade in Netflix. But again, you can see how nicely the compass system identifies institutions buying, selling right here. And this was another trade on the SPY. This is right off the dominator system. A lot of my members like to trade Qs or SPY right off the dominator system. They'll look for a breakdown like this, where you get a dark pink background and you get a sell signal, and the indicators all go red. You go ahead and sell it here, or buy puts is what we did here. And we buy puts, and the SPY trade was 3 points, $250 profit per contract on this move down right here. And again, the dominator system is telling me that clearly the institutions, the market internals are in our favor on this particular trade. And this was a Tesla trade. And again, I'm going to skip through some of these charts because I don't want to take up your whole afternoon. But the whole point is for you to be able to see how well this Compass system identifies these trades. And when I'm sending out a trade to the alert service, this is what I'm using to find these. Here's Tesla for 30% profit right here. Pop out of the box signal, going from blue to yellow. We've got institutions going from buying to selling, and the multi-time frame was already red. So we rode this down, and that was a 30% profit. That was right at the close of the day that we get out of that trade. And this was an overnight trade. This is when I wanted to show how it works overnight. Notice we had a pop out of the box signal here at the end of the day. Notice the compass, the dominators, the compass system is all red here, red or yellow. So we took a short overnight on this because it was lined up that way with everything red and the gap down, and it went from 120 to 112. And of course the puts exploded on a trade like that. Very, very big move. The options went up by about $7 a contract, which is pretty large. And Z, another short in Z. So you can see the setups here. You can see the selling that's occurring, the Compass system telling us that the institutions are selling these. We don't want to be in them unless the institutions are selling. All right, and this is Oxy. This was overnight. This is a daily chart right here. See this shaded area, dynamic compression zone. Compass system shows it. We get a nice pop right here. And this was when we took it that day. We waited for compression to end. We waited for a pop out of the box signal. Compass system goes from yellow to blue. We buy it here and we take it right up to here. All right, so I'll run through these. This is Tesla, same thing. And I just kind of want you to see the way the Compass system identifies these. And anybody who wants the Compass system can get the Compass system. You can buy it, and you can get all these exact same indicators as I've got on right here. All right, and SPY, another SPY, nice SPY trade to the downside. You can see that. So again, I'm just going to zip through these charts because it's something that I want everybody to understand where these trades are coming from. So this is where these high probability trades are coming from. It's extremely accurate to get in a trade when the institutions are in there. This is IBM on a daily chart, and you see this pop out of the dynamic compression zone, goes from yellow to blue, and up it goes. Same thing here with QSR. This is when I'll show you, this is when we took that. This is a daily chart. So this is what I saw on the daily chart. See, it went yellow to blue to green. So institutions are buying this. If they have been, they're continuing to buy. Here's where we bought it during the day. We found that trade overnight, and then we found it we wanted to go long the next day. We follow it along the 15 EMA right here. And on these pop out of the box symbols, when it goes to green right here, goes to green and a pop out of the box signal, we get in right here, right on this little arrow right there. We get in and we ride this thing up, and we get out right here when it gets red, QSR. So that was the daily on QSR, the 5-minute on QSR, and here's the dominator on QSR. So I'm looking at the exact same thing. Green background, bullish, and the stock moving sideways. Now we don't have a buy signal till way up here. This tells us that there's no sell signals though. So this tells me that the market internals are neutral, but the stock is bullish because I can see by my compass system this is bullish. So as long as this is not on a sell signal, I can take it anywhere. And we took it right here after this compression. But if you wanted to be more conservative, you could wait till you get a buy signal right up here. But that was a nice one, and that's how we find these trades, and this is how we allow you to see these. Somebody asked me if I could describe the lower section of the dominator. Yeah, I can, and listen, I have videos on all these things, but the dominator, as I said, it's looking at the 5 different indexes. It's looking at the Dow, the Qs, the Russell 2000, and we want to all the 5 indexes that we look at. And each there's a stocks moving up on up volume and stocks moving up on a number of upticks. So you've got basically 10 lines here So you've got up volume upticks, up volume upticks, up volume upticks for each of the indexes. So it looks across all 5 of these indexes, but the buy signals are not going to be shown until the disparity between all of the indexes together are enough to generate a buy signal. Because if for example, if you got the Dow only has 30 stocks in it. The Dow only has 30 stocks in it. The Dow could have up volume and upticks, but if the Russell 2000 is red, you don't really want to be taking a trade at that point in time because the Dow is just too small. So what the system does is it looks across all 5 of these indexes, and you don't even have to have these in your chart. I like to have them so I know which indexes are moving in which direction. But that's what these indicators here at the bottom are. Those are the actual indicators with up volume and upticks on each line. Okay, and just a quick SPY trade. Again, and just to show you how we're finding these, this is a pink background. This tells me the SPY is bearish. The multi-time frame trend is bearish. I got a sell signal on the SPY right here. This line right here, this red line is the 15 EMA. This is where you go short. You write it down. It starts to kind of compress. I wouldn't be staying in any longer than this, even with the sell signals, because I'm not getting any momentum. And I've already made a nice amount of money on the SPY with these three down candles. Okay, and this is again, this is the dominator showing the same thing. You can see that the color background goes from black, which is neutral. So this is bluish. It's actually a light green. This is slightly bullish, and then dark green, very bullish. So you can buy here if you want to, right as it goes to light green, or you can wait till you get to dark green with a buy signal. Anywhere in here is good, but you can see these buy signals keep coming. It just keeps moving up. I mean, it just goes up all afternoon on this thing, all day on this thing. So that's what we look for on the dominator system. So you're familiar with the dominator system and the compass system. And here's the Netflix on the dominator system, just so you can see the way this works. And it's interesting because you notice that these red candles coming in here, this typically is retail traders trying to pick the top and selling, and they're selling it. But you notice that we never get anything except buy signals all the way up. So this is what other retail traders don't know, that we know. We've got the compass system to tell us what institutions are doing. We got the dominator system to tell us what the market internals are. We've got that information that the other retail traders don't have, which is how we can run over them. And here's a SPY, another beautiful SPY trade right here. And I just want you to see what it looks like. Again, you can buy the compass system, you can buy the dominator system. You don't have to. You can be in my room without them, or you can be on the alert service without them. But I want you to see where I'm getting these trades from. You know, people ask me a lot, how do I get a 90% win rate? This is how I get a 90% win rate. It takes a lot of patience. You know, I buy a support, sell at resistance. I trade with the trend. I never take counter trend trades. You know, and I'm only in trades that institutions are in. It's really important. And the SPY, another one here. I'll skip through these. There's another SPY. Again, this was a SPY here that we took. And here it is right here when we get in. You can see the compass system, green, the dominator system. Buy signals, they match up, you can buy. All right, so these are specials, and I'll go over the specials. I just want to tell you a quick story about how people ask me. I get a lot of questions on how I get into trading, how I become a full-time trader, and it's kind of a funny story. I was about 14 years ago. I was in IT, and I was working for a company, and I got laid off about 2 weeks before Christmas. And I had been part-time trading at the time. I was trading options, you know, doing all right, but I mean, I couldn't spend a lot of time on it. But I was doing all right. I actually was trading at work while I could. But anyway, I got laid off just before Christmas. And so I said, well, this is a good time to go full time. It was the end of the year. It's very slow around Christmas time. But anyway, I decided to go full time trading, and I started trading, and I started doing very well. I mean, I was trading all day. I mean, I loved doing it, but I was doing it very well. So I traded through January, had a really good month in January. Started in February, was having a really good month. And my boss calls me and says, you know, you can come on back now. Things have settled down. They had to lay it off because business got slow. He said, your position's ready again, come on in. And basically I had to tell him, you know, thanks, but I can't afford to come back to work for you anymore. I just can't do it. And I didn't. I started trading full time from that time, and I have been doing that for 14 years since that point. But it's just a funny story. Everybody has different stories how they get into trading. I had been trading part-time and learning a lot before that, but I've been in lots of rooms. But anyway, that's kind of the story about how I get in there. So anyway, here's this is the alert service that I was just talking about. The summer special. Again, it's $9.97 a year for the alerts, for the alert service. They'll come right to your cell phone, or $2.97 a quarter. Again, the trades will come via SMS alerts. And if you're one of the first 10 people to sign up for the alert service, you'll get a month in my live trading room. I have the options room where I'm in there every day from 9:30 to 4 all day long, calling out trades, doing educational work, telling people will post a trade for me, and I tell them what I think of it. They'll post a symbol. We'll take a look at the charts. And then I mention trades that I think are high probability trades. We also have a Discord room where we have 2 professional traders in there all day, and they're posting charts and also answering questions for people. It's it's meant to be educational. And you'll also get a masterclass series on all the different videos. I've done them on all of the strategies we use. And we do use strategies, buying calls and buying puts, of course, but we also do what's called time spreads or calendar spreads on earnings. And we also do what's called weekly ATMs, which is a premium collecting strategy by selling weekly puts against a longer dated put that we've got. And we do debit spreads using weekly expirations, and we do credit spreads. So those are the 4 strategies. I don't do any iron condors. I don't do butterflies. I mean, I do, but I don't promote them in the room, and I don't send out alerts on those. They tend to be a little bit, most people that don't trade options or just learning to trade options, that's a little bit too much for them. So that's the alert service. Again, $9.97 a year, and you saw what the results have been with the room. So the results are, obviously this gets paid for pretty quickly. And the Compass system, if you want to own the Compass system, your investment's only $9.97 annually for the Compass system. And that also includes the market scanner. We have a scanner in Thinkorswim, live trading room access for a month with the alert service, and the masterclass series that we talked about. And that is the Compass system. And if you want both the Compass and the Dominator system, we have quite a few people that do this. They buy them both because they want to be able to trade themselves. They want to be on their own if they can be, and they can do the SPY Super system or any of the systems we do. It's $14.97 for both the Dominator system and the Compass system together per year. And again, that would also come with the scanner, the live trading room in my room for a month with the alerts, and the masterclass series. So those are the offers on this system and methodology that we use. It's the strategy that we use, and we teach everybody about how in the room how to become better traders. That's the whole point. How to become better traders, learn how to trade in most any market conditions or any market conditions, and do it in a relatively low stress environment. We teach discipline and low stress trading. You're not going to see us taking a lot of trades that you'll see like in Wall Street bots or anything like that. We're not chasing stocks up on momentum moves or things like that. It's much too risky to do that. I don't do any hyper scalping. The trades we do are going to be, most of the trades are going to be intraday trades, but they usually will last for at least a couple hours or more. And then the swing trades are going to last for a few days. So that's those are the systems we have. Again, summer special here, $9.97 for the Compass alert service, $2.97 per quarter. And again, you'll get the live trading room for a month and the masterclass series. You learn my secret ingredients. And I do go over all of the strategies I use. I mean, I'll show all the charts of why I'm finding this stock, why I like this stock, why I'm getting out of the trade, why I'm getting in the trade, why I don't take a specific trade, all of that, which I hope is very educational for a lot of the members. Okay, so those are the offers, the alert service, Compass system, $9.97 annually, and the Compass and Dominator system, $9.97 annually. Now, if you're interested, maybe you have some questions, go ahead and put your phone number or your Skype username in the chat box with your name. And one of the folks will call you from Rightline. They'll just call you one time to answer any questions you might have. And this is the number 786-732-4656. And likely Rory will give you a call and answer any questions you've got. All right, so let me see if we have any questions here on the in the question box. I know it's late in the afternoon. Everybody's been in these webinars a long time, but I appreciate everybody being here. So let me see here. We got what we got. Yeah, you'll get, somebody asked if there's a replay. Typically these are all recorded, and if you register, you'll get them. Somebody's asking about how many trades would you have open at one particular time. Most of the time, the most I'll ever have on is about 4 or 5 or 6. I think we have about 5 or 6 on right now, but generally most of the trades you're going to have on is going to be in the neighborhood of 2 or 3. That's generally speaking. Market's gotten kind of bullish lately, so we've had some trades on. We took 2 off today, but generally, 4 or 5 will probably be the most. How many alerts a day can be held overnight? Again, this is a good question because a lot of folks are under PDT rules. They're pattern day traders, so they can't trade more than 3 trades, intraday trades every 5 days. So I do an awful lot of overnights. I also do the time spreads on earnings, which are all overnight. So there's a lot of trades that will keep you out of that kind of a situation. Yeah, you have we have quite a few pattern day traders. So you obviously have to manage that so that you don't take more than 3. But a lot of these are going to be overnights, and a lot of times you can hold them. I mean, even if I have a very bullish trade and maybe I take it in the 10 in the morning and take it off 2 in the afternoon, it's still bullish enough that you can stay in the trade. But the time spreads and the credit spreads and the weekly ATMs are all overnight trades. None of those are going to be intraday trades. Hey, Eddie. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. All right, Terry. Hey, Terry, how are you doing, man? As a strategy, I'll just straight call a put buying. But you would use, I use some, I don't know if you want to call them advanced option strategies. I do time spreads, which are calendar spreads. And I do those over earnings only to capture implied volatility crush. But the system is obviously, you can use the system for whatever particular strategy you like to use. I mean, you can tell on a stock that the institutions are buying. There's no reason why you can't do credit spreads on it or condors on it. If you like to do condors, I don't do condors or butterflies. I mean, if you're an option trader who likes to do butterflies, you can do butterflies based on the compass system telling you that the institutions are in there. You just have to pick your strikes. The webinar recorded, I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it is. Jack, hey, thanks very much, Jack. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Albert, appreciate your number. Rory will take care of it. Janet, you too. Thank you very much. Does the software work on Ninja? It does work on Ninja. The compass system is actually called the Money Flow Tracker on Ninja 8, and the Dominator runs only on Ninja. So the Dominator has to run on Ninja. I didn't mention that, but the Dominator runs on Ninja. I have Compass running on the TOS because I'm familiar with it, and I don't really want to have both of those packages running on Ninja, but they both do run on Ninja. All those trades you described, spreads, weekly time spreads, etc., are part of the alert service. Yes, the alert service, you'll get alerted on any kind of trades we take. In fact, I did a time spread tonight. Today on, I forget what stock I did it on. Roku. I did a time spread on Roku overnight, and that went out on alerts. So that would be one that you would get on the alert service. Are alerts only if you get the trading room? No, The alert service you can get individually. You can get the alert service right here. This alert service, you don't have to be in the room. Now you'll get access to the room for a month just to try it out, but you can stay in the alert service without ever being in the room. You'll be getting the alerts, because in the room I'm trading anything that I put out an alert, I'm trading in the room. But I also trade some things in the room perhaps that are not going out on alerts because they're too quick. You know, a SPY trade that's going to last for 3 or 4 candles, I'm not going to alert on something like that. And so I do call out some things within the room that won't go on alerts. But any of the majors, any of the things that's going to be on there for a while will go out on alerts. All right. Is Ninja preferred over TOS for both systems? I prefer TOS for the Compass system, to tell you the truth, personally. But that's personal preference. Whatever you're used to. What service would I sign up for just to get the alert, but not needing to buy access to Compass at all? Then just get the alert service. The alert service, you will get the trades alerted to you. You don't have to have any of the software. You're going to get an SMS alert. It's going to tell you what we're buying or what we're selling and what price and what stock, and you can just look at it on your own charts and look at it and see. But I just want you to know how I find these trades. I mean, I find these trades using the Compass and the Dominator system by being in the trades that the institutions are in. So when you send an alert, the user can tell this one is only a day trade versus I can hold it overnight. See, I don't really necessarily specify that because I don't know. When I get into the trade, if I hit a specific price target during the day, I might take it off. But I also may put on, 20 contracts and take 10 contracts on and leave 10 overnight. But generally speaking, if you get a trade from me on the alert service, I'm using the daily chart is going to align with it. So I'm going long off of a 5-minute chart, but I know the daily chart is bullish. Generally speaking, you can hold that trade overnight and or for a couple of days and still be okay with it, because the daily chart is what I'm focused on to actually enter the trade. Do I only send trades that meet the Compass and Dominator criteria? Well, I'll send a lot of trades that don't necessarily meet the Dominator criteria, because a lot of times the Dominator, which is looking at 5-minute time frames, is telling me that the market internals are neutral. But I won't be sending any trades out that don't meet the Compass setup. The Compass setup is important. The Compass system is I'm only trying to take trades that the institutions are in. Now, keep in mind, institutions don't necessarily get in the trade and stay in the trade forever. They can get in and get out. But when we enter the trade and when I alert on it, I'm going to know that the institutions are in there at the time. That's the Compass alert service on the screen right now. Yes, right there. You can get it for a year, $9.97, which is obviously cheaper, or $2.97 a quarter. Yeah, for trades that go against me, am I just accepting the MAC loss, or do you use other criteria to get out early? Listen, I don't set stop losses. My stops are all based on technicals. If a stock is pulling against me, but it's still bullish on the daily chart, this is the key. I get into a trade based on the daily chart. Then I'm looking at the 5-minute chart to find a good entry point for it. The daily chart is bullish and the daily chart stays bullish, I'm going to stay in the trade. Now I have to take into consideration how long it is until expiration. If we get too close to expiration, then sometimes I'll have to either take the loss or roll it out, or to break even. But generally speaking, listen, some trades go against you. You get a news event overnight and it'll gap down, and the option's not worth anything, 5 cents or something, then you have to take a max loss on those. So you have some of those. I mean, that's part of trading. But I'm not getting out of a trade because I'm down a certain percentage or a certain amount of dollars. No, it's all technical. I'm getting out based on stock breaking support or breaking resistance. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate it. George, you think you would still have to be monitoring and managing the trades? Well, listen, I'm sending out alerts. The alerts are going to tell you price to get in, and you're going to get an alert telling you what to set for your target to exit. So if you have a trade on, and you get an alert that says, okay, go ahead and sell this at $2.25. You put the sell order in at $2.25, good to cancel, and you forget about it unless you get an alert that tells you to adjust it. It's not a lot of trade management for anybody in the alert service. It's a lot of trade management for me because I'm watching this, but anybody in the alert service is just getting the information that I'm sending to them based on my management of the trade. So you don't have to do that. I mean, if you get in at a certain price and I sell you a sell order to get out at a certain price, we closed 2 trades today that both were profitable. All you had to do was just like when the alert went out, you just had to put your sell order in and leave it there. Do I have any? I haven't. Do I alert if it's breaking down? I mean, you know, on a daily chart, I don't look at it as a breakdown until close to the end of the day. I mean, stocks fluctuate around a lot, and I tell people in the room, it's very important to, if you start to get freaked out because you start to see some 5-minute candles that are really looking bad, switch over to your daily chart and see what the technicals look like on the daily chart. What's the daily candle look like? If the daily candle's ugly and breaking down, then yeah, we would like to get out of the trade, but not based on some 5-minute candles. What's the average capital invested in each option? That's up to each person. It depends on your account size, depends on your risk. I mean, I use $2,000 just as a baseline so you can see what $2,000 is. As an example, if you're putting $2,000 into a trade, if it's the $2 a contract for the options, you buy 10. If it's $4 a contract for the options, you buy 5. But everybody has their own risk tolerance and account size. So, you know, you can do 500, you can do 1,000, you can do, you know, 10,000. It just depends on what your risk is. You know, I always recommend taking larger size if the market's in your favor, if you've got a trending market, and smaller size if the market is choppy. If the market's choppy, you want to take smaller size and you want to get out quicker because you're not getting those kind of moves. Today was a fairly large drop in the SPY on the whole day. You all sent an alert for puts today? Just curious. No, I did not send anything for puts today because we had some puts on Chewy this week, which we took profits in. But the market broke down, and we put in a bearish engulfing bar on the SPY. But the market is still bullish. If you look at the market, you have one down day. I'm not gonna switch. Now, if tomorrow it looks bearish, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find stocks that are bearish on the daily chart. In other words, that are breaking down on the daily chart and are bearish, and the stock is bearish, then I'll take those. There's a few of them like that. Chewy's been like that. eBay broke down very bad today on earnings. That's fairly bearish. So we look at that in the morning and see. When you get an alert to close a trade at a certain price, if we have trouble getting filled, should we be adjusting profit exit to make sure it's filled? I mean, if you know, I sent them out. I send them out with a price target. You have to use some judgment. Everybody has to use some judgment on the trades. Because if I have a price set to get out of 250 and the stock's trading at 235 or 240, and you say I'm up money, I don't want to risk anymore, take it off. There's nothing wrong with it. These are your trades. It's your money, and you know you can certainly do those decisions. I'm giving you what I feel like is where I've got my set, where my stop is set, or where my sell order is set. But that doesn't mean you have to do that. What was the cost of each of the 2 trades today? The ones we took off, what the cost is depends on what you paid for them. Let me see if I can't remember what they were. Let me look. Hold a sec. Let's see. We had oh yeah, we had lows. We had lows that we get in on the 21st. Now those options we bought for $4.30. So you know, it depends on how many you want. But we bought it from 4.30. We sold them today for 5.30. So we made $1 profit on those. That's about a 25% profit. And then we had another one in Lyft, which was fairly small. Lyft was a fairly cheap one. We paid like $1.89 for those, and we get out like at $2 or something. We didn't make that. That's been kind of meandering around for a while, so we decided to take that off. But those are the 2 that we closed out today. how does this service compare to DTI service? I don't know DTIs. I know who they are, but I don't know, like, do I have an audited trade tracker? I mean, I send out emails, webinars, basically videos each month with the trades that we've taken that month, and I list the trades that we've had made money on and lost money on, and I tell you what the overall results for the month is. But I'm not sending them through an auditor. So. I mean, if you don't like the service, that's fine. You don't have to stay in it, but that's how I do it. Okay, I think that's all my questions.
David, I was going to say, with that being all the questions, I think it's a great place to say, could we direct any further questions to the number or the email address for Rightline? And David will be happy to answer them. I have to say, your super system looks amazing. And ladies and gentlemen, whether you want David's trade alerts with a greater than 90% win rate sent directly to your mobile device, or to have the entire trade system running up on your computer, Mr. David Wise has put the links for each in the chat box, and we've run out of time for today. So if you have any questions, I see a lot of names in the chat box. If anybody else would like to add theirs, their phone number, their Skype, their anything like that, Rightline's number is in the chat box. I'll make sure David receives the information, and you will hear from him, Rory, or another member of their staff. Thanks again, David. Incredible numbers. Keep up the great work.
You guys,
your members love your service. I know I was in your room for a few days and it absolutely works. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's presentation on Traders Corner. We'll be posting the recording and posting them to our YouTube channel. I'm going to put another link in the chat box momentarily. Here it is to subscribe. You can easily find the recordings of our summits. And I'd like to thank everyone for being here today. Wish you a wonderful everything. That is all in signing off. Bless everyone.